Join me. Together we can rule the galaxy far from sun.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Hello there, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses. This is Todd Hoffman and Trent Hoffman. You're listening to Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 123. Today, it's jam-packed. We got two episodes to cover. We are going to be talking about episode 9 and episode 10 of Andor. Unfortunately, my little buddy Trent can't join me today, but he's here in force spirit. Please catch us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Big T Little T. Playing some Fortnite, just enjoying Fortnite. The big old Star Wars week, this last week, another week ago. 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Oh man, it was great. Lightsabers, E11s, pulse rifles, junk rifts with land speeders. It was all right there. We had a great week playing that. And then, we're just trying to get through this season with Chrome. There's a lot of Chrome going on, affecting Fortnite, all this fun stuff. It's great. So check it out, /Big T Little T on Twitch. There you go. Hey, just want to throw this out there. I know, we try to keep it a little light, little fun here on Big T Little T, but just want to let everybody know, hey, you are loved. Big thing going on, obviously, this month is mental health awareness. And with the new number for suicide prevention, just want to throw that out there, man. 988 is the new number. It might seem impossible. You might think things are not looking good, but know that you're loved. I know sometimes you feel like you're alone and it's isolated, but there's things in life that people go through that you might not know, and they might be struggling with the same thing. But again, if you are in a desperate spot, definitely 988 is definitely where to go. For me and Trent, we believe in a higher power, and that's Jesus Christ. And I just can't say it enough. Like, God loves you. And sometimes I understand you've been through some stuff. Get it. Religion might not be your thing, but that's kind of where it is where Trent and I get our hope from. Our whole family believes in that, and know that you're just loved. I mean, I know God's real in my life because of crazy things that's happened in my life that can only be explained by something bigger than myself, and not definitely on my own. And so that's where I draw my hope on. And we talked about this before. Star Wars has a lot of parallels in real life and draws from different religions, obviously from a Jedi perspective and Sith and all that. But there's bigger things in Star Wars. I know that's hard to believe, but there are, and can't do it without friends and family, and my belief, and just know that you're loved, and happy to talk about that more. But it's just something that as we're talking about mental health, and just it's good to take time for yourself and get reconnected, and take care of your body and take care of your mental and spiritual stuff, all that kind of stuff. It all means something. It all happens for a reason, and you need to get that checked every once in a while, as far as just all three phases there. And just want to throw that out there. But oh my gosh, we had Grogu and the Dust Bunnies just show up on Disney Plus. That was a little 4-minute short from Studio Ghibli. They're a very renowned animation studio, and in fact, this was a leak. Now, the Italians over there and Disney Plus, they leaked this out a couple weeks ago. I saw it on Star Wars Leaks. I'm like, Grogu and the Dust Bunnies, that's gotta be a fake thing. Nope, that's the real title. Actually, it's like Zen Grogu and the Dust Bunnies. Super fun short. I mean, it's only 4 minutes long. It's great. Music's great. Animation's great. It's fun. Check it out. Cartoons are great. We just came back from Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2. Wow. Really good. since it just came out, I'm not going to do a spoiler review, but I'm just going to say vengeance is not the key. There you go. That's it. But yeah, super great flick. We had a great time watching that as a family. I am literally a sucker for popcorn and pop. Like, that is like the Achilles heel for me. It's like I'm just in my Zen spot. Speaking about Zen and Grogu, tying it all together here, popcorn and pop. That's it right there. Yes, Midwest thing. We call it pop. That's what it is. It is. So anyways, all right. We're off a week. A lot of things going on, but everything is going in the right direction. And so we are doing 2 back-to-backs. Here we go. We're just going to kind of not fly through them because they're both really, really good. And really great themes. Again, really great themes in Star Wars, and Andor is just nailing it. But let's take a look at Episode 9, Nobody's Listening, okay? So this is directed by Toby Haynes and written by Bew Williman. Am I saying that right? Bew? Like Brew or something? Okay. So official description: under intense scrutiny while in prison, Cassian makes allies plans for impossible escape. What? Meero, again, we were cheering for her. We're like, yeah, Meero, you gotta, fight the man and fight the system and get what you need. But she wants the same thing. She just wants power and be recognized. And so poor Bix. So we got this fun doctor, Ghosts. He's very chipper for Imperial Doctor. I was seriously thought we were going to see some interrogation droids. And again, their set design is awesome. They got these cameras in this interrogation room. They got I think it's 8 cameras. It's just the same cameras that they use in the detention center and the Death Star. This attention to detail is fantastic. But anyways, it kind of goes on about threatening Bix if you don't tell me what's going on. And we see Meero just really diving into Bix and just saying, okay, this is what I know what's going on. We track the radio hit. We know about the hidden station with Pac. And again, we see Pac come out and he's just not in a good spot. I really thought we were going to see the interrogation droid, but we didn't, but that's okay. And so we essentially, I don't know, I forget what species they say, but they found, the doctor just kind of goes into this whole thing about, hey, we know these species, and all these scientists got mad, and we kind of fine-tuned it, and basically makes the people go crazy. Great stuff here. So Bix is like, oh, I'm in trouble here. Meero spells it out like, hey, I know that you've had at least 6 meetings with the Spire. We know what's going on. And so basically says, Bix is still playing it hard, which I really, really am impressed, but she doesn't want anything to do with it. And then we go back to Andor, and they're just kind of assembling the pieces, and but we also see Andor going to the refresher. We get to see a Star Wars toilet. Love it. Great. Awesome. But he pops a panel and is cutting this pipe. And so there's things that are going on sooner that, there's something else happening here that they take little shifts to do that. So they continue to watch, there's a pause, and there's some communication going between the floors and what's going on with level 2, and something's wrong. And Andy Serkis is the man. He is the man. He's so good. He's like, you're just making all this stuff up. Why are you getting all worked about level 2? We're all these different floors. How can you know that something was going on in level 2? Yeah, he just going crazy. But essentially, there is news that 100 men got electrocuted on level 2. And so they kind of just said, oh yeah, we're talking about this stuff. And he's like, you're just making this up, So we also have this one, I think it's Olaf is his name, not to confuse with Olaf, but he's the older gentleman in the crew, and he's really just having some problems keeping up. He's not feeling very well. We flash back to Ferrex, and essentially, our good Dr. Gross here says that there's a massacre on Dizonites or whatever, and the aliens make a agonizing sound when they die. They perfected it and have this virtual headset for dicks and put it on, and yeah, it's not cool. Here's a fun little twist. So we get this kind of news that Mothma's cousin's in town. She seems a little surprised. She gets back to the Trendillian, her house, and wouldn't you know, it's Vel. What? Didn't see this coming. Vel is Cassian, or Mon Mothma's cousin. She gets a dress for Lida, which is fun. And they kind of talk business. But basically, both Vel and Mothma are, hey, we're in this together. There's bigger fights. Okay, so Meero kind of goes back to report with the ISB. We're talking about things, and she's kind of putting things together. And she thinks there's a connection between the heists that happened on Aldani and then the ambush on Ferrex. And yeah, it's happening. It's getting close. Then our boy Cyril, I call him Cyril. It's not Cyril. It's Cyril's or Cyril. He's like totally stalking Meero. Weird, but that's okay. And he basically is like, hey mom, stop going through my stuff. He's like, what's going on? But yeah, so she's like, hey, I know things are happening. He got a promotion, but then he's obsessed with making an appearance with Meero, and Meero's like, look, back off. If you do this again, I know he's trying to say we're cut from the same cord, but Meero's like, you're a little weird, dude. So why don't you just back off? And he's like, I don't know if I can do it. So then, banker dude at Colma saying, hey, things are getting tighter. We need help, and we might have to get it from some shady business to help with us. He name drops Davo Skulladin, and he can make it happen. And so he's just saying there's loopholes, but we can't do what we need to do to get this money where you're at. So then we kind of go through, let's see, Olaf passes, so Olaf is not very, very good. They're trying to keep him stand up, and they get him through after the shift's over. They get him into the tunnels where we see the night and day shift changing guards, basically. And unfortunately, the doctor gets there. He has a bad stroke, and says his vitals are not good, and he's going to put him down. Then there's some discussion about, it doesn't matter, we're not getting out. And he's like, what do you mean? So now Kino is hearing this, and he's like, listen, they let somebody out and release somebody from level 4, put him on level 2 the following day. Word got out, and they killed them all. What? That is crazy. And so now Andor's pressing Loy and basically saying, okay, see what I'm talking about here? And he's been asking, this kind of running theme in this episode. He's like trying to get Loy on board, and he's not. But then finally this question comes up a couple times, but he basically asks how many guards are on each level, and Loy kind of spills the bean, as in he's just like 12 guards. What? So it's kind of interesting, and it makes sense from an Imperial perspective, very efficient. we have the floors as a deterrent, as obviously when Andor entered, you got 3 levels, and first level will knock your socks off, get electrocuted. But in order to maintain this with little personnel, that's the threat, the electricity, right? But there's only 12 guys, or 12 Imperials to whatever, the 100 men on each of the shifts. So yeah, it's not very well as far as like Imperial enforcements, but it's efficient. But again, from how can I put it? Like, it's just not well protected. Let's just put it that way. So there you have it. That was episode 9. Great stuff. Awesome. The No One's Listening is another thing that the title is set in the episode where Andor's trying to convince Loy, like, hey, we need to do something, and he's like, he's trying to run it by the book, and literally Cassian's like, no one's listening, no one cares about us. It's just, it doesn't happen. They don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. And so there was definitely a disagreement in the cells. But there you have it. That is episode 9. Okay, moving on to episode 10. Oh my gosh, what? Finally, again, Andor, super slow burn. That's fine. This is great. 10, you understand the cost of the revolution, and here we go. We got episode 10, which is One Way Out. Not No Way Out. One Way Out. Here we go. So this is the 10th episode. Again, directed by Toby Haynes, written by Willman. I'm so bad. I don't know. So we know Kino's in. He's in. So here we go. Official description. Rare opportunity opens, and the time for Cassian and his fellow inmates is to act now. What the heck? All right. So when they get back to the cell, they ask, obviously, where Olaf is. Not Olaf. Olaf is. He passed away. And then Andor basically makes Kino like say what happens, and he finally says, okay, they fried everybody on too, and it's like, what the heck? So now we kind of go back to Deidre and Meero, and that we also see, let's see what happens. Oh, she convinces our Jung and Major Partegas that should not wait, but we have to make their presence felt, and they found or intercepted like an Imperial pilot, if you will, and they want to make sure that they fake and stage it so they can get closer to try to get closer to the kind of, how can I put it? It's just a way that they can figure out how to get closer to the rebels. It's another kind of cell that they found out that this place came from, and so they're trying to get the rebel pilot. So that's already kind of put in motion. And so then we also kind of go to the Mon Mothma. We get to meet the banker and this Davo guy. I thought he was going to be like some alien dude, but he's a regular dude, straight up from the 1970s. Great look for him. And his proposal is to kind of take the why is Star Wars name so hard? Oh my gosh. Trangillan, am I saying that right? I don't know. Where they get married really young. He's like, yo, I got a boy who's 14, and Lita is like 13. All I'm asking is that we make an introduction. And Mon Mothma is like mortified, and she's like, why would you want to do that? And type thing, and basically can't even finish his drink, and he's like, we're done. Wow, that was a lot there. And then so Kino just kind of says, hey, he basically rallies the troops and is like, if we're going to do it, today's the day. And so they kind of talk through a little bit of what they're going to do. And they understand, like, hey, we got to take these two on the platform when they bring a new prisoner in. And they really said the time is to strike now. If the prisoner, new one comes in, we have to do it. And so they start grabbing some weapons, but what essentially happens is Cassian goes back to the refresher, able to cut the pipe. It's like water that's coming from basically the refresher is now spilling on the floor. They lose a little power, and the unit 52D starts the revolution. And unfortunately, there are some casualties right away. One of the units, one of the guys gets overcome by the shooting, but they all take weapons, and they get the guys off the scaffolding, and then they tell to nuke the floor, but there's water going on the floor, so they all jump on the table. And really what we get is really the great escape here. So everyone, there's flooding, and now there's people shouting, and the Imperials are getting word that something's going on level 5. What's happening? And so they basically overcome the barracks there, right, or that kind of checkpoint area, and they get some blasters, and then it's like, let's just keep on going to level 8. So they go from level 5 to level 8. Obviously, lots of stairs. Get their cardio in, and then basically, they take over, and it's great, fantastic. Let's see what else is happening. Oh, so that's happening. Then we go back to Luthen, and Luthen meets the double agent that is in the ISB. Jung is his name, and he's just like, hey, they're putting this together. And Luthen's like, don't be scared. It's okay. We're going to make it happen. And they basically talk about, Jung's like, hey, they captured this rebel pilot running supplies for Keeger, and explains they turned him in immediately, staged an accident. The Emperor is also aware of Keeger's plan to raid the power station on Spellos or something. And Jung is like, we got to stop them, because if they do this raid, they're going to get slaughtered. And Luthen's like, that's the cost of this thing. Luthen has a couple great lines in this dialogue. This dialogue is so rich of good stuff. And it just kind of talks about sacrifice and what are you sacrificing. And Luthen understands, like, being this double agent is not easy for Jung. But he just like, hey, I'm also losing stuff. I know that I won't see this to end. Like, this is going to take a while, but we have to make these steps. And you realize, like, again, staging this rebellion, going to get something bigger than you are, takes a lot of work and a lot of people, and sometimes you won't see the end. It's crazy. It's a big theme. We see this in the Bible too. Moses in the Promised Land, he never gets to really see it. Then they complain about God's vision and where they need to go, because of like, it's great, but there's giants there, and so he's like, okay, well, guess what? You're going to be wandering the desert for 40 years because you complain, because you don't believe in me. But yeah, your descendants will see the Promised Land. And so there's some very similar where it's like, okay, we know that we have to take down the Empire. Empire is bad. Empire is evil. But then, it takes a lot of sacrifice, and there's a lot of things on the line for individuals that going against the system. And even like these double agents like Luthen's playing and Jung's playing, it's a big deal. So yeah, and Jung's got a baby and all this kind of stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But so we have that thing. So then we go back to the kind of revolts, and Oh man, this is so good. So Andor knows, this is another good thing about like leadership with Andor. Andor knows that people will listen to, Kino, and basically Kino gives this little speech like, hey, I'm, the supervisor on 52D. This is what happened. The time's now. Band together with us, brothers. Let's get out of here. There's this great, so they get all the way to the top, and they really don't have like a transport to take or anything like that. They just jump off, and they got to jump off and swim. And here's the heartbreaking thing: Kino can't swim, and so Cassian kind of gets swept up. Him and Melshi kind of jump into the water, and then there's a quick shot of Melshi like and Cassian kind of like getting on land. But then we see all these people jump, and Kino's left, Kino's there. Oh, heartbreaking. But that's how it ends. Yeah. At least we know that Andor and Melshi make it, and it's great. But yeah, we got such good dialogue here. It's just fun. This is a fun one. So yeah, so now we finally get through the prison escape. So that was a big chunk. So now we only got like 2 episodes left, 11 and 12. Why? But it's happening. It's happening. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. So I'm just interested what these next 2 are gonna be about. I wonder if we're gonna see a little bit more Bix, a little bit more Luthen, Mon Mothma. Is that deal gonna go through? Is Cassian gonna hook up with Luthen, or is this whole thing with like Vel and searching to kill Cassian, is that gonna play out? Like, what's happening? What is happening? Yeah, I don't know. It should be good. It should be real good. So that is where you leave off with episode 10. So tune in next week for episode 11. But yeah, it should be fun. So there you have it, guys. So okay. So I know, we finished off what's happening when, and now we're caught up. So we're kind of looking at, I was doing something fun with the numbers, because Star Wars and numbers, going back, like looking back, and now we're already caught up. So there isn't new news for 2023 yet, because it hasn't happened. But so I'm gonna Cassian inspired. Light it all up. We're going to do some trivia here. So this one is super simple. All you got to do is email in the answer at bigtlittlet@gmail.com. We'll send you out some swag. Super simple. So we're going to do it real easy this week. I hope. Might have to take some research. I don't know. But whoever gets the right answer for this, first one in, and we'll announce it next week or whatever. We'll kind of keep it going. So, okay. So, our man Cyril and his mom loves some cereal. What real world cereal did they use for Cyril cereal? That's the question. Send in your answer at bigtlittlet@podcast.com. We'll give it till the next episode. So I will pick the winner by Sunday the 20th. Let's just put it that way. By Sunday the 20th, noon. By Sunday the 20th, hopefully we get an answer before then. But there you have it. Sunday the 20th, get it in. Boom. I'll pick the first answer that's correct. And there you have it. So yeah, bigtlittlet@gmail.com. That's it. That's the question. There you go. Boom. All right. And that's where you got to put the answer. Yeah, there you go. All right. So thanks again, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses. Princesses? Yes, princesses. For listening to another episode of Big T, Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Hey, you can find us on the socials, Big T, Little T on Instagram, BLILT, podcast on Twitter. Where are we at? Oh yeah, twitch.tv/Big T, Little T is where you can find all that fun stuff. Again, we got stickers. We got things. You can do that if you answer the trivia, but also if you want to, give us a 5-star rating, rate us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, throw us a screenshot, or you give us a comment or something like that. We'll read it on the next week podcast at bigtltpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you got a question or you got some statements, you got things to say about Andor, drop it to us, and we would love to correspond and read some of those questions on our next episode. That's bigtltpodcast@gmail.com. Next time we meet, Andor episode 11. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about Wakanda Forever. I don't know. We got things. It's happening. It's coming up. So now truly remember the mind of the child is... No, not truly remember. Now remember, truly wonderful the mind of the child is. And may the force be with you always. Bye. Peace. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.